Access Point. Access Point is a new on-demand business education tool being developed for use by small businesses across the District of Columbia. Access Point is brought to you by the D.C. Department of Housing and Community Development, DHCD, the D.C. Department of Small and Local Business Development, DSLBD, District Bridges, and the Rhode Island Avenue Main Street.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Access Point. As we continue our series on COVID recovery for businesses, I'm so excited today to welcome a couple of my Main Street colleagues. I've got with us today Deborah Jones from the Ward 7 Business Partnership and Bill McLeod from historic Dupont Circle Main Street. Welcome to you both. Thanks for joining us here today. Deborah, you have been a Main Street director for 12 years in Ward 7 Business Partnership. Bill, you've got 18 years under your belt in various Main Street programs throughout the District of Columbia. And who knows, you were with the National Main Street Program for a while, right? So y'all have seen a few things. So I'm very excited to talk to you both about what's going on with some of your businesses during the shutdown. I'd like to hear from each of you. Start with you, Deborah. What's going on in your neighborhood with the businesses in your district? What are they experiencing under this shutdown? And what are some things that they're doing to keep going? What are some things that you're doing to help them?
Well, first, some of the things that they're experiencing, the customer base for most of them had dropped off before the shutdowns even started. They were seeing less foot traffic, less customers altogether because there's been so much unemployment. And once the shutdown started, my first question was to all of them, what are you seeing? Are you seeing anything different? And they were saying no, that it was, status quo. But I noticed in their stores that customers were coming in, discovering that they had the emergency products that they were looking for. I've been to Costco and there was no toilet paper, but you got toilet paper. You've got water, you've got hand sanitizer, you have, disinfectant wipes. So they actually became, sort of a mainstay in their communities with the items that people were looking for. And so what I've done is just try to keep them apprised of all of the relief programs that have come down the pike. I don't have a lot of business owners who use email. So we had to do a lot of face-to-face, handing out flyers, trying to get a conversation out of the actual business owner or the manager, because I try to review the orders that the mayor sends out to make sure they understand what they are supposed to be doing. And we made distancing signs for the essential businesses. And I also had to explain to some businesses why they were essential and why they were not. I've gone around with the tape measure and worked with them on taping their floors so people stand 6 feet apart. I've talked to customers in their stores about why they should not be bunching up at the counter, why they shouldn't pass each other in the narrow aisles in the convenience stores. And of course, then we have the sub grants that we give out from the Main Street funding that we get every year. So I paid some utility bills for some businesses that were shut. and I've worked with some of the businesses that are open with security changes that they want to make during this time. And we're still working on it.
Bill, what is going on in DuPont Circle Main Street businesses, and how are you helping them adjust?
Yeah, wow. So DuPont usually has 325 businesses open 7 days a week, including a farmer's market. And basically 10% of businesses are open at this time. And of those businesses open, except for the grocery stores, they're doing probably 10 to 20% of their regular sales. So they really are hurting. And I think of it as these restaurants that are open right now are really a public service. They are losing money by being open. One of our very high-end restaurants that serves seafood sells an average of 6 dinners a night. And that is way down from what they usually do, especially when an entree hovers around $35. So the food is excellent. Come to DuPont and get carry out. Many of them are doing it. It's wonderful. We did just launch this. Thanks for finding that. The DuPont Delivers campaign, that was in March. And so we've got a lot of restaurants to carry out, pick up, and delivery. We have something like 5 pickup drop-off zones. I just installed one on 18th Street on Saturday in front of Bar Charlie, a very popular tavern. And it's actually really easy to do these pickup drop-off zones. For window dressing, they look great. I don't know how well they're actually used, but it makes businesses feel like the customers can kind of get in and out very quickly. So we did that. We also did a big push for kind of online sales in March. And then this past weekend, we did Christmas in April. Saturday was April 25th, if I remember right. And the Hyrick Mansion did their Christmas market. DuPont has something like 50 retailers and 130 services and 110 restaurants. Most of them all sell gift cards and gift certificates online now. And so we did a big push for that. And then we've just launched a new Open for Business campaign where we're giving out huge posters, kind of 3x4 posters that are visible from the street. We're handing them out. We're helping them paste on windows. Business is open. Here's one at a gourmet market selling groceries. And this is actually bringing in new customers, believe it or not, because so many people are looking for new places or any place to shop, buy groceries, wine, olive oil, flour, things like that. So this business is Open for Business campaign is actually working really, really well.
Great.
So
Great.
What else?
Just staying a little busy over there. Bill, you mentioned the pickup and drop-off zone permits. And for those of you listening that are not in the DC area or maybe unaware of it, the Department of Transportation is allowing us to provide or set up, work with our businesses and set up designated pickup and drop-off zones. And these are zones where the meter is, for all intents and purposes, closed, so you don't have to pay to park there, and nobody else can park there unless you are there to pick up food or I guess drop off deliveries. But the signs are specific and unique to this COVID shutdown. So you'll see around town, you may see some of the very familiar red and white square signs on meters that say no parking. But if you look a little closer, they're blocked out a little bit different. And at least on my Rhode Island Avenue Main Street corridor, the pickup and drop off zones that we've set up, they've actually come and covered the meter. So that you can't put money in the meter. Of course, we're also way out in the part of town where they still have standalone meters as opposed to just the zone parking. So you may not have those in DuPont, Bill. I don't know, but Deborah, do you have any pickup drop-off zones in your neck of the woods?
No, we don't. We have 3 restaurants. When all of the shutdown situation started, our legacy restaurant that has been around since the 60s, they had just rebuilt two lots down from their old business in order to get out of the way of some development. So they hadn't reopened yet. They were just about to reopen when the shutdown orders came. So I don't even know if they finished putting their equipment in the building. Then across the street from them is another restaurant. Across the street is another restaurant that has been open since, I'm going to say, December. So they moved over from H Street, and then almost immediately while they're trying to establish themselves, the whole situation started. Then our third restaurant was, the windows are still papered. They haven't opened up yet. So that's it for our restaurants. They're either, they never got a chance. So we have no curbside going on. We don't have any metered parking anyway, so we wouldn't have been covering up any meters. I am going to be working with the businesses this week to see about people distancing outside, and the sidewalk extension project that we got information about, to see if we can get some of that set up. But again, that's going to be an issue of somebody's got to police that, and who's going to do it? Do the businesses have the staff to do it? Because most of them were mom and pops anyway. They have their family, their families, and everybody's not coming into work now. So we're going to have to get creative about that, how that's going to be handled. Yeah. So at this point. Mm-hmm.
Kyle, what are you doing over on Rhode Island Avenue?
A little bit of everything. We have a few of our businesses that are doing delivery only. A few of our restaurants that are doing delivery only. We've got Good Food Market that is open for business, and they are, talk about the safest place in town. You walk in, you're obviously required to wear a mask when you walk in. First thing you do when you walk in is you see a stack of boxes of gloves, and they ask everybody to put on gloves before they continue on in the store. And the few times that I've been in there, everybody that has been in there has been wearing gloves, wearing masks, and the people that work there are continually cleaning. And then there's a big trash can by the door on the way out where you can deposit your gloves on the way out, so nobody's dropping them on the sidewalk. And they're doing quite well. They also are, as Deborah mentioned, for her businesses, they're one of the few places where you can count on to find a roll of toilet paper and some of the basics. Zeke's Coffee is available for ordering coffee online, or once you get to the door, you can call and place an order and they'll bring your coffee out to you. So we're seeing instances like that up and down Rhode Island Avenue. I think for our corridor, some of the businesses that are hurting the most are the service businesses, the salons and the barbers, the boutiques, the clothing stores. Are you seeing something similar in your neighborhoods?
Completely shut down. Massage parlors, yoga studios, nail salons, barbershops, all closed. 6 weeks now. This is devastating.
Yeah.
The same for us.
Bill, you were around for the 2008 recession, how does this compare to what businesses faced in 2008 when everything was slow?
Things really slowed down, but this is a full stop. And I don't think, I feel like this is an avalanche and that was a snowstorm. We got through the snowstorm. It was really tough. It was a recession. It hit the housing market and it had all these sad spin-off effects in small business and then personal spending and then jobs. This is a giant avalanche that's hitting us now, and we don't even know what the fallout's going to be.
Yeah. What do you, when you were working with businesses for recovery from the 2008 recession, what types of lessons did you learn then that you feel like you can at least begin to apply in the recovery for businesses now?
Yeah, this is such a different animal. I thought that things would kind of translate similarly, like in the 2008 recession. Rather than having 2 glasses of wine with dinner, people would choose to not have any wine with dinner. That's what restaurateurs were telling me. Today, it's full stop, no sales, or maybe people are going out to buy dinner once a week on a Friday, and they're not buying these cocktails. Abra has been very flexible where people can buy cocktails and take them home with the purchase of a meal. People are not doing it. Liquor stores are open, liquor sales are okay, but they're not what they've been. It's really a full stop. Yeah, this is Annie's. Annie's is not just selling their fantastic menu for carryout for lunch and dinner, but they've also got supplies like toilet paper and full-on bottles of liquor. But food sales are good, but everything else is really tough. Plus, their fantastic staff, which has worked there 20, 30 years, most of their staff has been laid off. It's really sad.
Deborah, did you have many businesses apply for the various grants, whether it was the Payroll Protection Program or the SBA grants or the DC micro grants?
So I did a survey monkey with all the products that have come out so far, the main ones, the SBA ones and the DC grant, the emergency relief grant. And I've only so far gotten about 13 responses, even though every time I send an email out now, I say, please take this survey. But you know how surveys go. But I was really surprised that I have 2 or 3 people who applied for the PPP and were awarded. Of course, nobody's been awarded from the city's emergency grant yet. I think they're saying the end of this week or the end of April, which is the end of this week. It's in a couple of days, that's when they're going to start distributing. But I haven't heard anything about anybody getting awarded for that. I think I have absolutely 0 people who have said that they've gotten the SBA, any SBA money, except for the PPP, the payroll protection. And one of the questions I asked was, did you apply and are still waiting? Most of them say they're still waiting. Some were denied, but most of them say they're still waiting to hear. So, we'll see how that goes. We're actually collecting data to report to the mayor and the city council. So in a minute, I've got to cut this off and just give the data that I have to the person who's writing our position paper for that report. So,
Bill, are your businesses applying for these as well?
Yes. So I have informed all our businesses about these federal grants, but I really pushed local grants. So in March, we gave away the rest of our grants, which were officially like sign and facade grants. We just converted them to, small business grants. You can spend it on whatever you want. We didn't have a huge pot of money for that. And we did a huge push for this micro grant. We really tried to get everyone to apply. For the federal grants, I know they're a little bit more work. We made the information out there through email and on our website, but we didn't push them really hard like we did the DC micro grant. I think it's easier to deal with the DC government than the federal government. So I always like to underpromise and overdeliver, knowing that a federal grant is a little bit more burdensome for a small business owner who's really not used to writing grants.
Yeah. For our listeners' sake, anywhere there's small businesses, there's some organization available to help you. And here in DC, we have 26 Main Street programs. We have multiple 24 Main Street programs. We have multiple economic development offices in the district government, and there's access to resources everywhere. And the first place to start is with your Main Street, because if you are a small business in DC, there is a very strong likelihood that you are in a Main Street program. So you can head over to the Department of Small and Local Businesses website. It's dslbd.dc.gov. And there's actually a place where you can plug in your address to see where you can get assistance if there's a Main Street program near you that can help you. And we all have, as Main Street programs, we all have information on our organization's website, links to all of these grants and resources. So Deborah, let's start with you. Why don't we, can you give your organization contact information, your web URL, and your office phone number, so people in the Ward 7 Business District can contact you?
Sure. We're the Ward 7 Business Partnership, formerly the Deanwood Heights Main Streets, and it's just a name change at this point. But you can reach me, Deborah Jones. My email address is djones@ward7.com. It's WARDSEVEN.com. Our mailing address is 4645 Nanny Helen Burroughs Avenue Northeast, Washington, D.C. 20019. And our office number is 202-621-2288. And we're in temporary office space right now. So if you call our original phone number that I just gave, you'll still reach us. And we're working hard to move back to permanent digs at this point.
Like that. Bill, how can businesses in the Dupont Circle area find you?
Well, hopefully everybody in Dupont knows who we are, where we are. We have a very visible clean team, and we partner with the Dupont Circle bid to clean 5 commercial corridors and Dupont Circle Park proper. I try to be on the street a lot, and I like to think I'm very visible. But if you don't know us, you can always email me at bill, B-I-L-L, at dupontcircle.biz. Our mailing address is Dupont Circle Main Streets, 9 Dupont Circle Northwest, Washington, D.C. 20036. And the office phone is 202-656-4487. And our website, in case you haven't visited, is Dupont Circle Main Streets with an S.org.
Great. We are going to have you guys come back a little bit later on in a few weeks, if you don't mind, and we can touch base on where are your businesses at in a couple of weeks, and because everything's moving fast. We've always got new information to share during this time of COVID. So thank you both for your time today, Deborah Jones from Ward 7 Business Partnership and Bill McLeod from Dupont Circle Main Street. Thank you both for being here today, and I'll see you both soon. And thank you everyone for tuning in, and we'll see everyone later. Bye-bye.